been waiting for today for a while. Today we're going to start the install on the Thrashin Supply 9.5-inch risers in chrome on Achilles to go with the Thrashin Supply mid-bend bars. This will be my first time doing bars on a motorcycle, so wish me luck. I keep seeing all this depinning things going on with the wiring once we get to pulling the wires out of the frame. So I hope that we don't have to do a whole bunch of that, but if we do, I think we'll figure it out. Let's get to it. Let's get this front end taken apart so we can get the bars, start to take those apart and get the wiring out. And then switch all the wiring to the new bars and get these bars done and get it back out on the road.
First, we have to remove our Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing.
So here we have Achilles with the fairing off. I believe that we might have enough space to get to work and to get these bolts out of there and put back on into the new risers, and enough space to get the wiring worked around here. So this right here are built well bars. That might be a part number. These bars were already on the bike when I bought it, and they come up to be about 13.5 inch, which is, I believe, what we're gonna end up with the new Thrashin bars. But we'll have a little bit of a better angle as well as the rider with the new bars, plus the new bars are chrome. So let's get some more disassembly going on, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we removed the boot over here on the side of the frame, pulled this wire harness out. Been taking some good pictures of where the plugs, where the wires go connected to. And I think I'm ready to start unplugging stuff and pulling it through the triple tree so we can get these bars taken off and go from there. All right, so we have all the wiring unplugged from the box here that comes out of the frame. We have the two cables that come out of the left side, the clutch side over here, and then we have the 3 cables that come from the right side, the throttle side. And I actually marked this for now with a green duct tape, the 3 that come from the throttle side. We have the gauge pod off, that wire's out of the way. We have the mirrors off, the handguards, and let's keep going. All right, so here's the update. I got the grips off. I got the control housings off here. Handles, the levers, all that stuff is off. So these controllers and these blinkers are ready to be pulled through. Just have the clutch zip tied to the side here. And I have the brake right side up here, zip tied on this side, so that it's ready for us there when we come back for the new bars. All right, progress. So the bars are off. Just got done getting the old bushings that were in there out of the triple tree. So time to put on the new bushings and work on those wiring on the old bars, transferring all that stuff to the Thrashin Supply mid-bends. Looking forward to this. All right, so here are the new good and tight bushings that I got from Get Lower Cycles. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna use some of the chain wax that I have from when I had the Busa here in the garage. And I'm just going to coat a little bit of that on the outside here, just to allow it to go in there with a little more help. go in pretty tight, but they're going in pretty good just by hand. So once we put the bolt on the bottom and the new risers on top, we'll start compressing down on them and make them the way they're supposed to be. Well, guess what? Can't have a nice project or a hobby without having adventures in between, right? So it's the following day. As you guys can see, we have the Thrashin Supply risers on already. They're not tying all the way because we still have to put the bar up there. So we're still transferring the wires and the controls to the new bar. However, yesterday when we got to the throttle cable, the throttle sensor, should I say, it seemed like the angle of the billwheel bars are very sharp in the inside, and it seems like on the way in, on the install, it could have gone obviously a little easier, but on the way out, the plugs here on the end were just not having it. So I was able to depin the smaller plug, the one that has most of the wires on, and regardless of being able to depin those out of the little plug, the little plastic clip that goes inside that you can't see, the ones that you're actually pushing out of the way to get each one of these wires depinned or pulled out, a few of those cracked on me while I was doing that. It was a very tight fit. So we already had a bat going on that side, and then the bigger, longer plug that's on the one on the black and white, that was just not coming through. So we got this out the hard way. This is gone. So guess what? Today we have to go to Caliente Harley Davidson and just picked up a brand new throttle sensor. So let's get back to work. All right, so we finally fished all the wires through the new bar. I'll show you guys here in a second. First, we have to get the gauge pod out of the bracket that was on the billwheel bars. Gotta get this 4 little screws out of here so we can transfer this pod into the Thrashin Supply casing and then put this 4 screws back on them. All right, so here's the gauge pod on the new Thrashin Supply gauge pod housing here that we're going to put on top of the bars. So this little 4 screws here that I already showed you guys did have Loctite from factory, or at least from the bracket that it was in previously. So I did put a fresh small drop of Loctite on this small 4 screws. We don't want the vibration to cause them to back out on us later on as we're cruising down the road on this bike.
Yes, that's right. Here I am drilling right into the brand new Thrashin Supply mid bars, into that brand new amazing mirror-like chrome, because we needed to mark the bars here for the installment of the performance machine grips.
All right, so I have everything run through again, everything connected as per the pictures that I took before. So I'm going to get the power on and check the switches before I close everything back in. So let's hope that everything's working out. Power. Neutral. Alright, so we have this on, tail lights on, motors are working. Piping's on, hazards are on. And on the screen, we have the menu button running through the different pages. I see we're good. All right, so what we're gonna do now is the boot, the rubber boot here is back in place. I zip tied these cables all the way down to here. I used a little bit of WD-40 on the lip of the boot just to help me get it back in there, and I cleaned it a little bit because it was full of dust from, God knows when last time they did a bar job on this bike. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the bars and clean all the surfaces with a little bit of Windex here and a microfiber. Just a little bit to get some of this muck and this grease and stuff that I was getting from my hands on the bars. So we have a clean surface, and then we are going to sit on the bike and get the bars in the final angle, in the final position, so I can torque down the risers as well, and the bar and the gauge pot and all that. That way we can get to the controllers and get this job starting to get wrapped up. Alright, so the Thrashin bars are on. Again, these are the Thrashin Supply 9.5 inch bend risers and the mid-bend chrome bars. So I put them on the angle that feels perfect for me. I'll show you guys. So the bill wheel bars that I had on before came out to be about 13 inches in height. This I measured, it was going to come out to be about 13 and a half, but I think it's just the proximity of the bars now because the bars are closer to me, and then the angle of the bars, since it's not one piece, it's a two-piece, riser and bars, they feel even a little higher than that, but not in a bad way. They feel great. I was actually originally going to go with higher bars, but I decided to keep the setup at around the 13 inch ish mark for not to take away a lot of performance of the handling of the bike. But man, they feel great. As you guys can see, I don't have the Memphis shades fairing back on yet, or the Handguards, because I am going to be receiving new mirrors here between today and tomorrow. So as soon as they get here, I'll put those new mirrors on. I got everything up and running. We're gonna take the bike for a ride and see what it feels like on the road. And once the new mirrors come in, we'll put the mirrors and we'll wrap it up with the handguards and the fairing back on the bike.
Here's a quick look at the new bar setup, riding slick with no fairing.
Alright, let's get the Memphis shades Road Warrior fairing back on. Boom, the fairing is on. We'll put the Memphis shades handguards back on as soon as those mirrors arrive.
Alright guys, so here are the new mirrors already installed on the bike. These are the Empire Collection mirrors from Harley Davidson. They have 3 different color schemes. These are the all black ones with the Harley Davidson logo up in the front. I'll give you a closer look at these mirrors on the next video that I will be posting, where we took a ride to Hengstone 2 in Ingram near Austin, Texas, and I'll show you guys that spot in case that you're ever riding by. Now about these 9.5 inch pullback risers from Thrashin with the mid-bend bars from Thrashin. I'm loving the way that they feel, the height that they sit at the 13.5, 14 inch total mark. I feel like the performance of the handling is still there. Now I finally also got an air cleaner for this bike along with a tuner. I'll show you guys the install on those two things and what they are on the next video. Again guys, thank you for watching, and if you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next videos. Ride safe, see you soon.